Okay, we're picking up where we left off. This is part 2 of 2 videos for section 4.6, complex fractions. Okay, the first problem we're going to deal with in this second video is evaluate 2x minus y for the given variables. So you're going to say 2 times the x value, which is 3/4 in this problem, and then minus the y value, and you got to be careful, this is a negative number that you're subtracting. Now I'm just going to tell you straight out that the double negative you got to fix that way. Okay, so priority here is the multiplication. You got to get the multiplication done before the addition. So we're going to deal with the front half here, and that would be 2/1 times 3/4. So it would be 6/4. And I'll write down the rest of it here. The common denominator here would be 3 and 4 both go into 12. So I'm going to multiply this by 3 and this by 3 to get a 12 on the bottom. And here is times 4 to get the 12 on the bottom. So at this stage, we're down to 18/12 plus 4/12. We got our common denominators. That gives us 22/12. And you'll just simply simplify this by dividing by 2. So 11/6 is the final answer here. Okay. It's a little bit more complicated setup here. You're going to add the y and the z and put that over the x. So in the context of this problem, the y is -1/3. And we'll be adding the z to it, which is 5/6. And down on the bottom, you get 3/4. That's what your x is. Now, the common denominator here of these three numbers here, 3, 4, and 6, they all go into 12. So we're going to multiply everything by 12 here, top and bottom. Okay, the plus sign means I have to distribute here. So this would be, let's see, let's go through it here. 12 divided by 3 is 4. 4 times -1 is -4. Okay, I'll put my plus sign and then do the second half, the back half. 12, the bar means divide. 12 divided by 6 is 2. And 2 times 5 is 10. Down below here, 12 divided by 4 is 3. 3 times the other 3 is 9. So we end up here with 6/9. And dividing this, or simplifying this, you divide by 3 and divide by 3, and you get 2/3. Final answer. Okay, here's another example that's similar. We're going to square the x and square the y and add the results. So you have 3/4 squared plus a -1/3 squared. The exponents take priority over the addition, so you have to do them first. And I think it'll be easier to understand if I write it out like this. 3/4 times 3/4 and -1/3 times -1/3. So here you get 9/16 plus, and these two negatives, when you multiply them, give a +1. And you get a 9 down there. Okay, we got to come up with two numbers. We got to come up with a common denominator of 16 and 9. And sometimes it's a little hard to come up with that. So one easy way to get a common denominator is just multiply 16 times 9. $54 and then 14. You get 144 there. Okay. So I need to make these both 144. Well, if I multiply this one by 9 and the other one by 16, and that'll give me what I want here. I get 81 81 over 144 plus 16 over 144, and my common denominator is at 144. So this gives 97 over 144. Okay, example I, and I think there it goes to K, so we're getting close here to the end. 1 minus the Y times 1 minus the Z Okay, the first thing you're going to do here is take care of the double negative. Okay, 1 plus 1/3 and 1 minus 5/6. There is a multiplication in the middle, and normally that would take precedence over the adding and subtracting, but these adding and subtracting are both inside parentheses. So we got to do the adding and subtracting first. Okay, so I'm going to write it like this: 1 over 1 plus 1 over 3, and to make a common denominator here of 3, I'm just going to multiply top and bottom by 3. Now on the other end, 1 over 1 minus 5 over 6. And to make a common denominator here, I'll multiply this one by 6. So now I've got 3, let's write this out here, 3/3 minus 1/3. And down here, 6 over 6 minus 5 over 6. So the first parenthesis is 2/3. That would be right here. And the second parenthesis, 6/6 minus 5/6 would be 1/6. And at this stage, I think I'll cross cancel since I got a multiplication going on here. And then you get 1/9 for your final answer. Okay. Let's see. I actually have 3 more problems. Okay. The priority here is to do the subtraction. So I'm going to go ahead and take care of that. And then I'll do the rest here. 3/2 minus 4/5. I need to get a common denominator, so I'm going to multiply this one by 5 and this one by 2, and that'll give me a 10 underneath both of them. Don't lose the squaring. So it looks like this at this point: 15 over 10 minus 8 over 10, and that would be 7 over 10. Now when you square it, that's going to be times itself. Which then gives 49 over 100. Okay, we're back to a problem that has a complex feature. In other words, you've got this fraction bar here, and the numerator and the denominator both have fractions in them. So we're going to take this thing and get rid of the complexity by multiplying the top and bottom by the value that will cancel these denominators. Now we're trying to cancel a 2 and a 4. So I'm going to multiply both of them by 4. The subtraction in the parentheses means we have to distribute, so there's 12. The back half here, you got to think in parts. It's going to be 4 divided by 2, which would be 2. 2 times x would be 2x. And this one down here is 20. And here you're going to get 4 divided by 4 would cancel off and give just the 3. So this is 12 minus 2x over 23. And you can't take that one any further. Okay, the last problem here, we're supposed to find the average of these numbers. Now, to find the average of two numbers, you first of all add them. And then divide by the number of numbers, in other words, 2 in this case. And we have this complex fraction going on here. We got, in this case, just fractions in the top of the other fraction. So we got this big fraction bar here, and the only other fractions are the ones on top. Now the numbers are 5 and 3, which both go into 15. So I'm going to have to multiply top and bottom by 15. Now this first part here, 15 divided by 5 would be 3. 3 times 3 is 9. And then when you distribute in the back half, 15 divided by 3 is 5, times the 2 would be 10. And down here, 30. So we get 19 over 30, and that does it for this section. So I hope this video was helpful to you and helps you get your homework done. I tried to make problems that are similar to the ones that are assigned to you in the homework.